Matt, yesterday you said that you kind of designed your strategy here no matter if it was windy, blowing, foggy, rainy, that we've had that kind of weather all year. You've seen these tournaments. You wanted something that would win or go the distance, the marathon type approach, and it looks like it's working out really well for you.
It is so far, and the biggest thing about this time of year is weather is just so unpredictable. The fish are wanting to spawn right now, and this is the first really steady and stable warm weather that Beaver Lake's seen in a while. So what you've got a big push of fish just now coming up. And I looked for something a little bit different this year. I've done well here in the past doing different things, but every time I've come here, I've caught them a different way and in a different area. So what I wanted to find something. What scared me is the water was coming up in practice. A lot of guys got on that river bite and they got in on that flatter stuff, the bushes and the wood and stuff like that. And that's where the fish want to be when they spawn. Here, I mean, a lot of them spawn on rock, but a lot of them end up in those big largemouth end up on that wood. So I looked for something that was a little bit different and some transition banks. It's rock transitions, whether it's bluff to gravel or vice versa, or chunk rock to pea gravel or chunk rock to bluff rock. And I'm in spawning pockets, but I'm not in the very back of them. But what I noticed today is there are some fish getting in the back of them now. So okay. I've got fish coming to me every day. Weather-wise and what I'm doing, it has no effect. The wind makes it a little bit more of a pain in the butt to do it. But, I don't want to wish bad on the guys down the lake, but, I just assume, it looked like an ice skating rink out there with absolutely, not a single cloud in the sky. So, we'll see. It is, I've gambled this week and laid off my fish after about 11 o'clock each day. And, tomorrow I'm just going to let loose on them and see what happens. But that may be a mistake. Some people disagree with that. But this is not Okeechobee. This is not Toho. This is not Falcon. You're not going to go out there and catch 30 to 35 pounds. So every time we've been here, the guy that catches that 13, 14 every single day is right there where he needs to be in the end. We hit them pretty hard today in a couple areas that I've been catching a lot of fish in. A lot of the fish that we were catching today, especially the better fish, were solid white, they're brand new fish, and the same stuff I've been milking the last 2 days. But I do still have a little bit of water that's unfished. I'm looking forward to hitting that tomorrow. It is out of the wind. It's completely protected. The wind is maybe the only thing that could hurt me a little bit, but it would literally have to blow one certain direction 25 to 30 miles an hour all day long. We are supposed to get some clouds and storms tomorrow. The sunlight obviously is good for me. I'm on I'm on a crawfish related deal and a spawning deal, so sun is good for both of those. But with the clouds and stuff coming in tomorrow, I caught a few doing the same thing in practice with clouds and wind. So, we'll see what happens. I feel like it's going to hold up, but, you never know.
At this point, it's fair to say you're not chucking and winding. You're not casting and reeling. You're not jerking. You got a little something else going on.
That's it. Yeah, I'm not throwing any moving baits whatsoever. I did a little bit in practice and caught a few fish, but there again, I went down the lake and I just didn't feel like I felt like that was too reliant on the weather. If you go down the lake and you catch them one day in 25-mile-an-hour winds and clouds, and then you get this the second day with no wind, and man, it's just a different game down there. The guy that can catch them down there during the right conditions and then run up the river and catch them in those, the sunny and no wind conditions, that guy would be hard to beat. But I've typically committed to one area every time I've been here, not one particular, tiny area, but within a 4 or 5 mile stretch. There's, the fish live in the same areas every time you come here. It's just you have to figure out how to catch them each time we come.
Andy, I can remember years ago, 10, 12, 15 years ago, this was not exactly your favorite place to fish. In fact, I think you kind of hated this place. And over the years, Andy Morgan has kind of developed this kind of strange love affair with Beaver Lake. You've gotten to where you like this place a little bit.
Man, I do. But, it's still extremely, extremely tough to catch a bass out here. I just kind of figured it out over the years, kind of areas to stay out of and and things to concentrate on to, to help your chances. And it's just a game of chances anyway. You just try to improve your odds every time, especially I think we've been here 16 years. You finally start to improve your odds after a little while. And, I guess I've kind of lived through that and accomplished that.
Some of the lessons I think over the years you've told me is, don't go under that 12 bridge. Put a jig away. You're not going to be able to flip bushes for 4 days. These are all hard learned lessons from Andy.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I said that years ago. I'll never be back under 12 bridge. I think I've been under there maybe one other time. And not that there's not fish that live up there. There's plenty of fish and there's nice sized fish up there. But you run out of room so fast. Once you run into a place and you come back out, boom, you're done. Your plan B is somebody else's plan A, so you kind of scratch that and fish behind somebody all day, and that shallow water's not good. So,
but When the cut happens like today and tomorrow, are you getting tempted at all? It's got to be starting to work on you.
I fought it all day today to just stay with the plan, I kept wanting to run up that river so bad. There's 20 boats on the water today, 10 tomorrow. So, I mean, water's dirty. It's April. I know they're coming shallow just as fast as they can swim, and I'm wanting to catch largemouth. I don't trust spots and smallmouth, and that's what I'm catching. I'm wanting to go turn and go largemouth, but I think I'm going to stick to the plan.
Travis, got a whole line of new faces up here today at Beaver Lake. That's the way it goes at Beaver Lake. We haven't had a chance to talk to you this week. Good day the first day, 14 pounds. Yesterday, a little less, but back with a good catch today. Largemouth, spotted bass, smallmouth. What's been the plan this week?
Well, I've been kind of rolling the dice, going after all largemouths. In practice, I kept trying to find some of them big magnum spots and smallmouth and stuff, and I just couldn't really get it going to where I felt comfortable. And, you know, you had to make a decision. Do you want a $10,000 check or do you want to win? And don't get me wrong, I'll never knock a $10,000 check anytime, but this is my home lake, and, you know, I'm kind of on the borderline on points. I need to do a little better, so I said, you know what? We got some color in the lake, and the water come up a little bit, and I looked at past tournaments that I've won around here, and I said, there's no question about it. And so I went and I fished all new stuff. Every day I'm fishing new stuff just off of old past memories. You know, I told my partner where I caught one of my big ones today, I hadn't been up here for 2 or 3 years, and went up there and whacked a big one. So, you know, it's I'm fishing for largemouths and just kind of rolling the dice, but I'm not catching very many. I mean, I could stumble and fall pretty quick too, but the good thing is it's getting warm and getting better every day.
We hear this all day long, fish new water, got to keep fishing a different place every day. That's what you've been doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and anybody that knows Beaver Lake says you're crazy for going to the river 2 days in a row, because they bite like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, or Tuesday, Thursday. You know, you don't catch them 2 days. So I don't know. That's the river, but I got to roll the dice. I want to go for it. I want to win really bad. In front of my friends and family here, and I got to roll the dice and keep doing what brought me here.
Do you have anything in the back of your head that you haven't fished yet that you're thinking the timing could be right? Tomorrow could be the day it gets right. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it all week, but this is where it could go down.
I have more places in the back of my head that I haven't fished, that I want to fish, that I haven't, than I do of what I am fishing. So that's my problem. If I don't make a really long run first thing in the morning, I'll never make it there. I run out of time every day.
Okay, because you're stopping so many places.
Yeah, because I remember, I caught a big in there, and that's right, and man, well, you know, I need to fish here because it's going to get hit first. You know, I'm fishing a bunch of community stuff, and I mean, what I'm doing is nothing great and spectacular. I've been blessed.
David, we haven't had a chance to catch up with you this week. This Beaver Lake always turns into one of those things where 12, 13 pounds a day is always the ticket. You keep bringing that in and climbing the leaderboard.
Yeah, I have. I just haven't had that 1 4 or 5 pound largemouth, and you know, I'm putting myself in position. So one more day left, it could happen.
Saw you out there today. Look like you're doing a lot of cranking down the banks.
Yeah, cranking, just whatever the wind is telling me to do. You know, if I'm in wind, I'm cranking. If I'm in calm areas, I'm throwing the shaky head.
Okay. Yeah, it's the big secret here at Beaver Lake is if you go down the bank, throw a wiggle wart, gets calm, throw a shaky head.
Yeah, I think if you went and looked at 180 anglers' boats, every one of them has a wiggle wart, a jerk bait, and a shaky head tied on. It's no secret. I mean, my partner called me last night, and he goes, hey, man, what are we going to be doing? I said, wiggle wart, jerk bait, shaky head. The same thing you do at 19 years of coming to Beaver. It ain't going to change.
Now, how much has your area changed, though? Have you switched areas during the week, or have you been in the same place?
Yeah, I went to one different area today and ended up catching 3 nice ones, one of my biggest largemouth out of it today, and then I went back to the area I've been at the last few days and still caught them there. So the promising thing about it is it looks like they're still moving in.
As the weather warms up, especially the areas, some of those areas you're in are real traditional spawning areas.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get off the main lake, whether you're in a creek or a cove, that's where they're heading. And I just elected to choose to stay in one little creek and, let them come to me versus me going to find them.
Micah, we finally caught up to you. Have not had a chance to talk to you this week, so we wanted to get you in the mix here and get a kind of an idea of what it's been like on Beaver Lake for you. I did catch a glimpse of you down there in the clear water, let's say, the very, very clear water, where you need some wind to ruffle the surface and use light line. That's kind of been your plan.
Yeah, it's we had the wind today, and it just didn't work out. I started where I caught 14 pounds the first day, and they didn't bite there, so. I fished it like 3 times today, but didn't get a bite. But I had to kind of resort to catching spots and whatnot. But ended up finding one more place that's got a couple smallmouth on it. But tomorrow I'll probably start in the same place and just kind of run around and just kind of go with the flow. It's crazy, whatever. You just pull up where the wind's blowing and hope to get a bite.
What about technique-wise? I've seen down on that end, some guys are throwing jerk baits really hard and aggressive, and some guys are finesse fishing. And it looks like you're kind of doing a little bit of both.
Yeah, I'm throwing a swim bait a lot. I'd like to get on a good jerk bait pattern, but I can't get them to bite it. A grub a little bit and a swim bait is basically all I'm throwing.
And I talked to you today. What pound test?
7.
7 pound test. Now, have you had any problem with that all week when you get those smallmouth on?
No, it seems to do fine. That stuff's pretty good. It's probably stronger than 7 pound actually, but
okay.
I like it.
Have you messed around in the stained water at all this week?
I did in practice,
okay.
But and you probably heard this story before. You catch boo-koodles of short fish, and occasional keeper, but it seems like down in the clear water when I catch one, it's a good one, especially doing what I'm doing. If I get a smallmouth bite running that pattern, it's usually a good one, So I caught one today doing that, and it was a 2.5 pounder. So the first day I got 5 bites doing it, and then they weighed 14 pounds. So
of your fish this week, how many smallmouth have you weighed in?
I had 4 the first day, 1 yesterday, and I've got 3 today.
So the smallmouth are going a long way for you.
They are, man. That's kind of I'm counting on those to be my size, So this morning my plan was to spend more time in the clear water down at the dam and just hope to get 5 smallies, because I know that's my best chance at 15 pounds, because I don't know how to catch a big largemouth. I haven't caught one all week, so.
Scott, it's Beaver Lake. It's so weird. We interview several people day 1, several people by day 3. It's a whole different set of people. Oh, yeah. So we got some new players coming into the game now. You're one of them. Biggest day of the week for you.
Yeah, it was. It's been a fun week. Kind of how I approached this tournament, a little bit different than I've ever done before. I didn't upload a single waypoint in my unit before I got here, okay. and I did that on purpose. I said, you know what? And I've had past success here. I said, but I'm just not going to fish anything. I'm just going to fish free. And practice was a little bit of a grind, but I was getting enough bites that I felt if things went well, I could catch them. And but every day's been different. The first day was really windy, and I ended up catching them pretty good, on a jig and crankbaits. And then yesterday it was calm, and kind of had to make some adjustments yesterday, and ended up catching about 11 pounds or so. And today the wind was back, and it was funny. I didn't catch any fish today where I'd caught them the previous 2 days, and just kind of fished the conditions. And and that's what you have to do here on this lake. You just gotta have to kind of stay. If you overthink it, you'll mess up. I'm really, like, if you ask me where am I going to fish tomorrow, I have no idea. Right. I was literally running down the lake today. I looked at my Garmin graph. We've got these cool little maps now that are, I think, the best maps out, because there's a big underwater point I've never seen before. And I pull up on it today and fire out there and catch a big gigantic spot, and caught a couple more there. So that's kind of how my day went, just kind of running around, kind of mixing it up a little bit. Caught some largemouth, caught some spots, caught a nice big smallmouth. So, it was a better day for sure.
Have you been sticking more in the stained off-color water, or have you been down at the dam in the clear stuff?
I've been in the clear stuff, but for me, the wind's been helping because it's muddying up or kind of staining up that clear water. So it's not super clear like where I'm fishing. Okay. I can't see the bottom or anything like that, but it's still considered the clear end, but the wind has stirred up the sediment a little bit, so it's kind of off-colored the water. And I think those, largemouth seem to like that a little bit better.
How often will you repeat water here day to day? Same sweet spots?
No, not at all.
Okay, that's what you're saying. You're running new stuff every day.
Literally caught everything today off stuff I didn't even fish it the first 2 days.
But is it the same lures?
No, today was different. The first 2 days, pretty much a big jig, a river to sea crankbait, and then today I actually caught some on a shaky head, which is really uncharacteristic of me. The only way I could do that though is I had to take it off a spinning rod because I just couldn't do the spinning rod thing. I took 8-pound line, put on one of my Akuma bait casters, and put on a bait caster, 7-foot medium heavy, and I threw a shaky head, and I said, okay, I can do this now. Caught a few on that, and caught a big one out deep on a swim bait, out about 30 foot of water, and caught a couple on a jig again. So we'll see what happens, man. I hope I chip away a little bit at the top 10.
It sounds like you got a real strong pattern going.
Yeah, right. Real strong.